good numbers out of the bullpen. 2-0 with a 2.60 ERA.
Southwest Airlines scouting report on Jay. Changeup and cutter. Used that fastball really well in the game against the New York Yankees. Threw almost all fastballs. And he is now a part of the rotation, and he intends to make the most of that.
Well, facing Christian Guzman to lead things off. Guzman hitting .340 on the year with a couple home runs and 12 RBIs. And he slices this one fairly deep right field. One away.
And it is time now for our Key State Chrysler Jeep Keys to tonight's game. First game of this weekend series. Phillies and the Washington Nationals. Great job by the ground crew to get the game started on time, too, as we had that pregame rain there. You are two good hitting teams, so you usually expect offense when these two teams get at each other. Jay Happ's getting that chance that he wanted to start. Did great his last time out. Let's see how he does here tonight.
Well, facing Nick Johnson, the #2 batter for the Nationals. Washington overall this year is 3rd in the National League in runs scored. 3rd behind the Phillies and the Los Angeles Dodgers. So this 13-33 record is not a whole lot about the offense. It's more about the pitching than anything else.
Oh, absolutely. They score runs. They score plenty of runs to win games. They just can't hold leads.
3-0 the count to Nick Johnson.
You got a guy like Nick Johnson, Guzman leading off, then Zimmerman, then Adam Dunn, who's done what they expected of him. Manny Acta has some firepower in his lineup.
There's Ryan Zimmerman in the on-deck circle. Ball 4, and Johnson walks on 4 pitches. Now the umpires for tonight's ball game behind the plate is Hunter Wendelstedt. Over at first base is Brian Knight. Dana DeMuth is at second base, and Doug Eddings is over at third, and Dana DeMuth is the crew chief of this 4-man crew. And now Ryan Zimmerman. Zimmerman is tied for 11th in the league in hitting with a .333 batting average. He has 11 home runs and 35 RBIs, top 10 in both of those categories as well. And he takes a fastball for a strike, and it's 0-1.
Last time we saw these guys, that long hitting streak that Zimmerman had just ended. And he does ground into double plays, 10 of them. Never forget one that he grounded into last year, the next to the last game of the season. That was kind of big in this ballpark.
Unbelievable play by Jimmy Rollins and Chase Utley to turn that double play. There is Chase. Folks have talked about Chase over these last couple of days with the injury to Brett Myers the other day. That hip injury that Brett sustained and has had and pitched with through most of this year. 1-2 the count to Zimmerman. A lot of folks, Wheels, were talking about Chase playing through that injury last year and Brett pitching through it so far this season. And we're going to have a medical update on Brett sometime in the next few moments or so about what his future is going to be here in 2009. And Charlie said today that it was 2 totally different players playing 2 totally different positions.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss, and Zimmerman's down on strikes. 2 away here at the top of the first inning.
Happ doesn't have an overpowering fastball, but he's a little sneaky. And he'll get some strikeouts because they don't pick him up. See right there, he'll kind of hook the ball a little bit, and then that's a straight fastball. He also come with that cutter, too, to right-handed batters, and he's pretty effective with it.
So now Adam Dunn will stand in. Dunn having a good power year with 16 homers, 3rd most in the league, 42 RBIs, also 3rd most in the league. Batting with Nick Johnson on first, and there's the final out of this first inning. 1 pitch retires Adam Dunn as Ryan Howard takes care of him. Good start for Jay Happ. We've played a half, no scores. The Phillies are coming up. Charlie Manuel's lineup tonight, brought to you by AT&T, your world delivered. Leading it off and playing shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Shane Victorino, the center fielder, bats second. Chase Utley's over at second base, hitting third, followed by the first baseman, Ryan Howard. Raul Ibanez, the left fielder, hits fifth. Jason Worth is in right field, batting sixth. Pedro Feliz, the third baseman, hits seventh. Doing the catching tonight, of course, is Carlos Ruiz. He'll bat eighth. At batting ninth at pitching is left-hander Jay Happ, and they're facing rookie left-hander Ross Detweiler for the Washington Nationals.
One of these young pitchers they really like, Detweiler, for his third major league start. Former #1 pick, and you see he's pitched well. Opposition just hitting 125 against him. That's the scouting report on it from Southwest Airlines. A tailing four-seam fastball. The one thing about him is he can get wild, and they have some really good-looking young guns, they think, coming along. In Zimmerman, who we saw a couple weeks ago, this kid, and you never know, they could have Steven Strasburg at some point this year, the #1 pick in the whole country.
Yeah, in fact, they have a couple of picks in that first round, and Jimmy starts it off with a chopper down the left field line. That's going to be extra bases. Willingham will pick it up as it stops, and Jimmy pulls into second base with a leadoff double here in the bottom of the first inning.
And we talk about this all the time with Jimmy Rollins, batting right-handed. He hardly ever bunts, and they almost play, every third baseman plays in on him until he gets 2 strikes. And there's a perfect example of he gets a hit because Zimmerman is playing up as if he might bunt. He never bunts. Zimmerman's back in a normal position. He catches that easily and throws him out. So just the threat of it, I guess, on the scouting reports makes a third baseman come in.
Well, that is the 537th career extra base hit for Jimmy Rollins. He needs just 2 more to pull into a tie with Sherry McGee for 6th place in Phillies history. He's starting to climb up a lot of those rankings. Here's Victorino, and Shane takes one for a strike at the D's. It's 0-1. Shane is 5 for 11 on this homestand, and even carried over to the last game against the Yankees and see what his numbers are. 8 for his last 17.
He's trying to hit a ball the right side now.
And he does hit one to the right side, taken on a hop by Nick Johnson, but it's hit too hard to allow Jimmy to move over to third. Plus, I'm not sure if Jimmy thought that ball was caught out of the air or not.
Well, there's no way he could run on that, Tom. You're right, because he wasn't sure, but the ball's in the air for so long, you don't want to get doubled up right out of the chute when you're in scoring position. Victorino did his job there, or tried to do his job. He gave himself up. He just happened to hit it right on the nose. Short hop there by Nick Johnson. Takes a quick look to see if Jimmy Rollins had come off second base. You know, he's thinking more about, well, if he's going to third, I know I got him.
So Shane is retired, 1 away. Jimmy remains at second base, and here's Chase Utley. Chase with 11 homers and 31 RBIs. He was 2 for 11 in that Marlins series.
Detweiler has very slow times to home plate. Now, that doesn't mean anything with a runner at second base, but it's something to think about later with runners at first who can run a little bit. Evidently takes him a while to unwind.
There goes Jimmy, and the pitch is taken for a ball to throw to third, not in time, and Jimmy anchors down on the bag. Zimmerman followed him the whole way, and the Phillies do have a runner on third.
Well, they took advantage of it right away. Even with a runner at second base, they decided to try and go on him because his times of the plate are really slow. So there goes Jimmy. He got a great jump. You see, it took Detweiler a long time to get that ball to home plate, and Bard had no shot.
So the 8th stolen base of the year for Rollins. And now the infield plays back for Chase Utley with Chase ahead, 1 ball and no strikes. Fights it off, and it's 1-1. You know, we've talked so much about this Phillies offense this year and how they continue to be among the most productive teams in the National League. Stolen bases is one of those numbers that's down this year, and a lot of that is because Jimmy was off to such a slow start. Ryan Howard waits on deck, and it's 1-2 now to Utley. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Joe Norris from Ventnor City down in New Jersey. If the Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game, then Joe's going to win $100. Compliments of McDonald's. Introducing McCafe coffees at McDonald's, a new line of lattes, mochas, and cappuccinos. Breaking ball popped up. This isn't going to get the run home as Anderson Hernandez makes the call. And they're 2 away.
He double pumped at a curveball there. Threw him a curveball the pitch before that. And you could see he started, got out in front of it, and just popped it straight out. Really fools him. There's a curveball grip. He really fools Chase Utley. Pulls his hands in, but pops it straight up.
Two outs now for Ryan Howard. Ryan's numbers, his power numbers are increasing. 12 homers and 34 RBIs. And they play him with that drastic overshift on the right side. Hernandez, the second baseman, back in shallow right. There's that slow hook from Detweiler in the count 0-1.
Zimmerman normally would be over towards the shortstop position, but they have him holding Jimmy Rollins closer to third.
Talk about Ibanez being so hot against the Nationals. You just saw those numbers for Howard over his last 13 games. But he's down in the count 0-2. There is Ibanez. He has matched the Nationals this year.
Boy, that series in Washington a couple weekends ago, he was really hot.
That series against Washington, that 4-game set, the Phillies scored 33 runs, hit 327, but more importantly, they hit over 400 with runners in scoring position. And speaking of runs, time to take a look at our Firestone leaders. The highest averages per game in a series. The Phillies and the Nationals combined for 13.2 runs. That's unbelievable. Dodgers and Rockies, you expect the Rockies to be there because of their ballpark. Firestone, a tradition of innovation. Down on strikes is Howard, and the inning is over. So the Phillies trying to run her in scoring position as they waste the leadoff double by Jimmy Rollins. We've played one, no score here in Philadelphia. Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Graham Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. A lot of kids in the house tonight as they expect another sellout here at Citizens Bank Park. The start of this 3-game series before the Phillies hit the road. Josh Willingham leads things off at the top of the second inning in a scoreless ball game.
Weather's supposed to be great now. The rest of the weekend had that little rain before the game, and that's gone.
Yeah, the Phillies were out taking PFPs and doing some batting practice before the rains came. Willingham, no batting practice outside earlier, but he takes a big hack here, and the Nationals have a 1-0 lead. Josh Willingham with 7 home runs this year. And he has now 12 homers in his career against the Phillies.
He has 10 RBIs with 7 home runs, too. That's really a weird stat. But Willingham has always hit the Phillies well, as Tom just said. He was with Florida all those years. Nickname is the Hammer, and he can hit a fastball, especially when you throw one middle in like that, and hits it well out to left center field. No doubt about it, homer.
So Washington takes a 1-0 lead, and here's Josh Bard, the number 6 batter. Wheel said Willingham with now 10 RBIs and 7 home runs. He doesn't play a whole lot anymore. He has played more lately. You know, he hadn't hit lefties that well this year. He was in just $1.79 against lefties.
Well, he got a great pitch to hit there, and he didn't miss it.
Just the 3rd home run allowed by Jay Happ this season. And he's ahead 1 ball and 2 strikes to Josh Bard. Bard pops it up. Ryan Howard is there. 1 away. Hey, Phillies fans, during tonight's Phillies game, don't just watch, play along live online at csnphilly.com. Make predictions, answer trivia, compete with your friends, and earn points to win great prizes. Play Friday Night Fever right now with Michael Barkan and Ricky Vitellico by logging on to csnphilly.com, keyword fever. Fever is spelled PH, in case you're looking to pop that on. Anderson Hernandez stands in. Hernandez hitting .278. No homers and 11 RBIs for the Nationals. And Jason Worth is going to track this one. Ball forcing the backpedal a little bit. 2 away.
You'll notice Jay Happ will get a lot of balls hit in the air. That's what he is. He pitches up in the strike zone, although he had a really good low fastball against the Yankees. But for the most part, his ground ball ratio to fly ball ratio is going to be skewered in favor of balls in the air. He's not a ground ball pitcher.
Oh, with 2 outs, here's Justin Maxwell, a 150 hitter. Will's mentioned before that Jay Happ has solidified his spot in this rotation as he fires a fastball for a strike. And now, with the injury to Brett Myers, Jay has really solidified himself with a spot in this rotation. You know, Cole Hamels and Jamie Moyer will go every 5th day. It was announced a few moments ago that Brett Myers will need surgery and subsequently will be out for the short term. Jimmy Rollins plays this one. And the side is retired, but a home run by Josh Willingham gives the Nationals a 1-0 lead. It was his 7th of the year, and he took a fastball out of the yard. Beginning Monday, July 20th, it's a 3-game series, 2 7:05 games, and then Wednesday the 22nd is the Citizens Bank Business Person Special. And Modell's Kids Run the Bases following the game. You can order your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. And the Cubs today defeated the Dodgers 2-1. Ted Lilly pitched real well for Chicago, and they had to hang on at the end. Kevin Gregg closed it out for Chicago, but it was a tough closeout for the Cubs closer. Washington leads at 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the second inning. And as we mentioned, as we went out in the top of the second inning, that the Phillies have lost Brett Myers because of surgery to his right hip. And Ruben Amaro Jr. joins us now, the general manager of the Phillies. And Ruben, I guess that part of you may have expected that this was going to come after going to see Dr. Kelly today.
Yeah, I mean, Dr. Ciccotti's diagnosis, I think, was not dissimilar from Dr. Kelly's, and we kind of mentally had to prepare ourselves for the possibility of Brett having to have surgery, and obviously confirmed by Dr. Kelly that he does have some pretty significant issues in his hip, and actually fairly similar to what Chase's problems were last year. And so he's elected to go ahead and do the surgery, which is, the right thing to do. And now we know what our situation is, and it's unfortunate, and it's part of the game, but we'll deal with it.
Ibanez retired by Nick Johnson, 1 away here in the bottom of the second.
Did this kind of come out of nowhere? I mean, we didn't hear too much about Brett having an injury, Ruby, that you thought might be serious.
Interestingly enough, I guess Brett now has told us that, and it had really not complained about it before, but I guess it's been bothering him for a little while, and according to the doctor, he's got a bony prominence in there that's probably been around since he's since he was developed in his adulthood. So it's probably something that's kind of worn on him. He's had some soreness, but never really a situation where when he was throwing the other night that where he ended up getting locked up, and it felt like he was locked up and obviously could not pitch.
Jason Worth is the batter. The count 1 ball and 1 strike to Jason as that one nearly hit him. We saw that last pitch that Brett threw in his last outing, Ruben. That was the first time, as you said, he hadn't really shown any real pain. That was the first time we saw pain out on the ball field, and it must have just gotten to a point where and we saw him grimacing in the dugout where it was just kind of unbearable for him too.
Yeah, and evidently, I guess he'd had some soreness from time to time on in his buttocks area, but I just don't. It was never something that was on any of our injury reports, and it was never something that was bothering him enough to even really have it be an issue. But clearly, he had a problem with it that night, and obviously we did the testing, and here we are with Brett having to have surgery and possibly losing him for the remainder of the season. But again, we'll see how it goes once he does have the surgery, and hopefully we have good news once it's done.
Jason Worth may have beaten that throw anyway as he was hustled up the first base line. So the Phillies have a base runner with 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning. Ruben, I know you just got done with the press conference and talking about Brett's injury with Dr. Ciccotti. You just alluded to the fact that we may have lost him for the season. I guess a lot will depend on when the surgery takes place and what the doctors see when they go inside.
Yeah, and it's a little different for a pitcher than it is for Chase's situation, in so much that the pitcher's body and the things that they have to do, the torque that they have to put, the push off, it is a push off leg, really rely on their legs to generate generate force, and for him to rehab and to get his arm back to the point where he's pitching at his elite level, that may take more time than would the situation with Chase.
I guess the next logical question, where do you go from here?
Well, I think we're going to probably resolve the immediate issue of finding someone to pitch in this spot on Tuesday internally. We have some candidates we've discussed internally here, and we'll probably have some type of an announcement, I would assume, sometime around Saturday or Sunday once we make a decision.
Pedro Feliz going the opposite way, and he's got a base hit. Worth will stop at second base. Pedro's been doing that an awful lot this year. He's popping the ball the other way. And the Phillies have a couple base runners for the number 8 batter in this lineup. Ruben, you were talking today about the system itself, how you're optimistic with some of the arms that are coming through the system. And I was looking at some of the numbers today. I mean, there are a number of guys that are throwing the ball quite well on each level. So I guess that makes that optimism a little clearer for you.
Yeah, and we're moving guys forward and moving guys through our system at a pretty rapid rate. Once these guys are showing that they're able to handle a specific level, and we're being aggressive with them. So. It's nice to see guys like Stutz and Worley pitch the way they've pitched in AA and Reading. We've moved Bastardo from AA to AAA now pretty quickly, and he's performed quite well in the 2 times he's gotten a chance to start. Kendrick is obviously there in Lehigh Valley, as well as Carrasco. We had Carpenter here, and he continues to throw pretty well there as well. So there are some choices. We're starting to develop a little bit more depth at the higher levels, and hopefully we can continue to do that. Savory's actually another pitcher and prospect that we have that's starting to throw much better than he was last year. And so it's nice to see guys develop in the more depth we can create at the higher levels, and it creates for a pretty good situation for us.
Is it tougher to make a deal, say, this time of the year when so many teams think they still have a chance to compete?
Yeah, and there's a lot of different factors. Obviously, the economics are going to be come into play here, it's possible that the teams will move out more quickly. But the fact of the matter is, more and more teams are in these races. I mean, we got the wild card, and we've had situations with Houston a couple of years back, and last year we've had situations where Colorado, they were way out of it, and all of a sudden they win 20 or 25 games in a row. And so teams, like to stay optimistic, and so those sellers don't come by easily. And as you know, the buyers are all looking for the same thing. The sellers become fewer and fewer, and they come on later. So, making trades is not the easiest thing to do. But obviously, if we had our druthers, we'd like to try to replace Brett with someone we feel can help us.
Ruiz with a fly ball to deep right field. Dunn can't get it. It's off the tip of his glove. Worth is around third. He's heading for home as Dunn bobbles it twice. And Feliz holds up at third, and the Phillies have tied this ball game up at 1 apiece.
A nice piece of hitting by Chucha.
Yeah, and he did some good base running, too, because he was almost caught between first and second. You want to make sure that Feliz got over to third base and that he wasn't pushing it. Everybody did their job there. That was a good job by the base runners, and you said, Ruben, a good job by Chucha and the ball over his head.
Ball got a little slippery out there for Adam Dunn in right field, too. And he just couldn't get a handle on it. So the Phillies with runners on second and third. It's a 1-1 game. Jay Happ at the plate. And the infield is in. And the count, no balls and 1 strike.
Hey, Ruben, you've been talking about the young pitchers. How about Jay Happ right now? His chance to move into the rotation and prove that he belongs there.
Yeah, it's great that he's getting the opportunity. I think he pitched quite well in spring training. Obviously, Chan Ho pitched well as well, and frankly pitched as good as anybody. But clearly Chan Ho did not throw the ball the way we had hoped in the rotation, and in fact he's thrown the ball a little bit better now that he's been moved into the bullpen. And Jay so far has shown a heck of a lot of poise, and we're pleased with how he's handled things so far.
Well, he's down on strikes for the second out here at the bottom of the second inning. We're talking with Ruben Amaro Jr., the Phillies general manager. Word came down just a little while ago. Ruben just finished up a press conference that Brett Myers will have surgery on his ailing hip and will be out for a substantial part of the 2009 season. Ruben, we didn't even ask you. I didn't even know if you had a chance to talk to Brett today. How's he doing handling the news?
I did talk to Brett, and that's when he informed me that he's decided that surgery was the thing that he wanted to do, and appropriately, no question about it. But I think he's disappointed. He wants to help us win. He's a competitive guy. He wants to pitch. He's very, very rarely has he been hurt. He's been quite a durable guy. We've only had that one issue with his lat a couple of years back when in Florida. But really, he's been quite durable. One of the more durable guys on our staff.
Now Rollins lines out to center field, so the inning is over. The Phillies, though, do get a run here at the bottom of the second inning. Ruben, we appreciate you joining us.
No problem, guys.
All right, Ruben Amaro Jr., our guest here in the broadcast booth. Phillies have tied it up at 1 apiece. to the Fan Forum section for all the information. And please submit your answer on the subject line. The question is, who are the 2 Phillies pitchers that have pitched 8 shutout innings in a postseason game? The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. Wheels has signaled that he knows one of them. And after looking at the answer, I would think you would know both of them.
Okay.
Top of the 3rd, as Ross Detweiler leads it off. He's 0 for 3.
I do know. I may have a shot at one.
0-2 the count to Detweiler as the rain starts to fall a little harder here at Citizens Bank Park. Showers in the area, but looking out over Center City, looks like there's some clear skies. And strike 3 call.
One of those pitchers we talk about who stands way off the plate. And there's a look at downtown. And yeah, there's some leftover spritz in the area, I guess.
There's that spritz that Wheels was talking about.
Yeah, always looks like it's raining harder in the lights, but it's easy for us to say when we're not in it.
Umbrellas are being popped up, and ponchos are being thrown on. And Christian Guzman will bat for the 2nd time. Guzman flied out to Jason Worth his first time up, but he's down in the count 0-1. Well, Ruben Amaro just joined us to tell us that Brett Myers will have surgery on his ailing hip, and he will be out for a substantial period of time. I was interested to see how long it might be as Guzman whacks this on one hop at J-roll. 2 away. Just because we've seen the hip problem that Chase had, the hip problem that Alex Rodriguez has had. A-Rod came back in a couple months. Chase worked his tail off to come back for the start of this season.
Mike Lowell had surgery right after the season last year for the Red Sox.
And was slow to get back. And as Ruben said, Brett was trying to get to the point where he could pitch.
Yeah.
He was hoping that maybe Dr. Brian Kelly from up in New York City would tell him, okay, it's not going to get any worse, so you can pitch through it. But as Ruben said, the best choice was probably to get the problem fixed, and that's what Brett's going to do. Maybe get himself ready for the stretch run if possible.
Well, one thing, and Ruben mentioned, and everybody knows Brett Myers knows how much he likes to compete, and if he can do it, he will. There's no doubt about it. He'll do his rehab. He'll do what he's told, and he'll do the best he can to get back.
2-1 the count to Nick Johnson. So the injury, as we understand it, is similar to what Chase Utley had. It's a torn labrum in the right hip. As Johnson pops that foul, it's 2-2.
And Ruben's talking about that bony problem in there too. It sounds like, like spurs or something when you're trying to any kind of movement in there. It must really hurt.
And the way the pitcher comes to the plate, I mean, there is so much torque in that body, and Brett has a lot of moving parts as he comes to the plate too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he really uses his lower body when he pitches.
2-2 the count to Nick Johnson here in the top of the 3rd. He's fouling one after another off, and he stays alive.
Well, Jay Happ's last time out was somewhere in the area of 75 to 80 pitches. He was able to do that with no problem up in New York through 6 innings. And, they're probably in the same area or a little bit more tonight. He keeps pumping fastballs at Nick Johnson, and he keeps fouling them off. Throws that little cutter at him sometimes, too.
See what Nick has done over his last 17 games. Has at least 1 base hit. 29 walks on the year as well overall.
Every pitch is in the same spot, and he's kind of timing him right now.
And every foul ball has basically been in the same area.
Yeah.
Either the Hall of Fame club over the third base dugout or the first couple rows of the upper deck.
They're probably tempted to come inside because he's just diving out there for everything.
And the 9th pitch of the at bat, and the battle is won by Johnson. Single to center field, so he's aboard with 2 away. Second hit allowed by Jay. And the inning stays alive for Ryan Zimmerman. The Nationals this past week at New York scored only 7 runs in the series against the New York Mets. And this is a team that's just 1 run away from matching their franchise record for runs in a month.
Yeah, that's surprising. You know, the Mets pitched pretty well against them, but not that great. Santana walked 6 the other night. When you look at the box scores in 2 of those 3 games, the Nats left a ton of men on. They left 13 or 14 on in 1 game. So they had base runners. They just didn't knock them in.
They've scored 135 runs during this month alone. Oh, and 2 the count to Zimmerman. Good fastball and good location by Happ.
We saw that in the 4 games in Washington. They would come at the Phillies late in those games. They scored runs, you know, it's in the 6th, 7th, 8th innings. They battle teams. Their pitching just lets them down so many games.
Nice play by Ruiz, and they've got Johnson cut off first. Carlos runs at him, then finally throws, and Johnson's tagged out, and the inning is over. I think Nick Johnson thought that ball got away from Carlos Ruiz. He's caught stealing at second. We played 2.5, and the Nationals and the Phils tied at 1. World delivered by Honda. You can depend on your Honda dealer for great leases and low financing. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your next trip at southwest.com. Sold out crowd here at Citizens Bank Park. Young and old. That hot dog is being enjoyed, and she just saw herself on television, I bet. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Ponchos are on. There's some rain in the air. In fact, the tarp was on the field from about 5:45 on. So about a half hour before the ball game. And Shane Victorino's got a base hit to start the bottom of the 3rd. Well, before the ball game today, that is Matthew Wright, who is a youngster from the Bay Area. As part of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, his wish was to come to Philadelphia to Citizens Bank Park to meet Cole Hamels and the rest of the Phillies. And Jamie Moyer, always a dad at heart, crawling around the floor as Matthew's younger brother was giving him a high five. Get a chance to not only grab a bat, but also get a baseball and see the Phillies clubhouse. And that's during batting practice today. We mentioned the Phillies did have BP before the rain started. He's a tall kid.
He was up here in our booth during some of that rain, Tom, and his grandparents are evidently from the Bay Area, and they never lost their love for the Phillies. So he's grown up a Phillies fan, loves Cole Hamels, and that baseball that Cole handed him. Evidently, Cole said that was some of the baseballs that he used in the game he pitched at Yankee Stadium the other day.
That's pretty neat.
He said, maybe I got a strikeout with it. He said, I did get a strikeout with it here, and he gave it to him. So he was a nice young man, and spent some time up here with us.
He met not only Cole, but also Cole's wife, Heidi, before the ball game today.
Well, I'm sure meeting Cole and Heidi was a lot more of a highlight than coming up here. but he seemed to enjoy the booth.
Do you want to play with the telestrator with us?
I did.
Very cool.
And he autographed it.
Count is 1 ball and 1 strike to Chase Utley. I tell you, the folks at the Make-A-Wish Foundation do unbelievable work and have for many years.
There we go. We talked about Detweiler's really slow to the plate. Now you have a base stealer at first, and you know, they could test him. They've already stolen third on him. Thought about stealing third when Worth was out there, and then Ruiz doubled. They're waiting for him. You see, he doesn't have that great a move, and he does. So far, he has not shown a slide step or anything to get the ball quickly to home plate.
There is that slide step.
He did that time. Well, evidently, you know, they're working with him a little bit on it because his times are not good. So what they have to do is try and figure out a time when he does not use the slide step, and then they can run on him.
Sarge was saying the other night, and I think I have the numbers right, 1-2 to the plate, 1.2 seconds, 1.3 seconds. It's pretty good as Utley slams one to left field. Willingham is back to the warning track to the wall. He can't get it. It's off the wall and it's in play. Victorino being held up at third. Chase stops at second. And the Phillies have runners on second and third with nobody out. And so far, the corner outfielders for the Nationals have really struggled.
Yeah, they have not helped the young pitcher, that's for sure. Dunn struggled when Ruben was in here. We didn't get a chance to talk about it that much, but on Ruiz's ball and in this ball, Willingham started to drift. Now, granted, it's a line drive, but he didn't get to the wall or anywhere near where the ball finally hit and had no chance to catch it. But Utley's starting to drive some balls to left and left center off left-handers, and that's a good sign for him.
Well, you saw that ball he hit the other night that went to the warning track just by the 387 sign. You know, a lot of other nights that ball could have been out of the ballpark.
Yeah, you know, he's turned into so much of a pull hitter, and it's still good when he can drive the ball that way.
Nobody out. Here's Ryan Howard. They concede the run. It's a liner caught by Anderson Hernandez.
Wow. You know, if there'd have been runners at first and second, they would have had the infielder in the infield, and they don't catch that. But with runners at second and third, they're not worried about a force at second. So Anderson Hernandez is playing the outfield. Ryan Howard is robbed of a base hit and an RBI.
It's got to be more than a dozen hits this year that Ryan has hit right into that shift.
Now watch where he is. You see he's all the way out here where he makes the play. He would have been in there, in that area, if there had been runners at first and second, or even just a runner at first base.
Bard blocks that first pitch to Ibanez, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Raul is 1 for 10 so far in this homestand. And he usually does a good job in this spot to get that run home from third with less than 2 outs. And he hits one toward the gap in right center field. He's not only going to get 1 home, but he's going to get 2 home as Utley rounds third, heads to the plate. He's going to score an RBI single, a 2-run single for Ibanez, and the Phillies lead it 3-1.
Looked like a breaking ball. It was a little bit middle in, and he cleared his hips. He kind of got jammed on it almost, and still hit it out there pretty hard. Watch right here. It doesn't look like he pulls his arms back. Yep, there you go. The arms back towards the body. See right there, he pulls everything in and still fights that breaking ball off. And you know, that wasn't one of his typical BBs, but the bottom line is, Tom, as you said, he gets a run in. He gets 2 runs in because he puts the ball in play into the outfield.
46 RBIs now for Ibanez. The Phillies lead it 3-1. And Chase Utley being congratulated in the dugout. Randy Sinclair came out to the mound and talked to Detweiler. And still just 1 man down here in the bottom of the third.
Well, this guy only gave up 1 hit and 1 earned run in 6 innings in his last start against Baltimore with 96 pitches. And the Phillies are hitting him a little bit harder, but as you mentioned, he's not getting a lot of help with his corner outfielders.
Jason holds off on a high fastball. It's 1-0.
Play Jason Worth to right center with a big gap in left center field.
And Maxwell, the center fielder, is pretty deep out there. There's Dunn in right field. He misplayed that ball that Carlos Ruiz hit. There's Willingham in left field. He kind of misplayed the ball that Chase Utley hit. And the count 2-1 to Jason. Jason with the base hit his last time up, and he also scored a run. Maybe that puts a halt to what has been a real tough stretch for him of late. I guess a lot will depend on what he does in these next few at bats here tonight. But he had been 4 for his last 35 since the last time the Phillies saw the Washington Nationals. He pops this one up. Shallow left. Guzman is back. Willingham is in. And Willingham makes the catch, and there are 2 away. If you're traveling and can't watch your Phillies on TV, you can always catch the game on your computer with MLB.tv. The ultimate baseball experience featuring 100 out-of-market games per week live on your computer, and catch those you missed on demand. For more details, visit Phillies.com, where baseball is always on. 2 away for Pedro Feliz. Pedro singled and was stranded at third his last time up. Has his batting average up to .311. With Ibanez leading off first. And that one's hit in the air to left center field. It's pretty deep. Maxwell going back to the warning track, to the wall. Reaches up. He can't get it. It's off his glove. Ibanez around third. He's going to score. Feliz to third. He's being held there. An RBI triple. And the Phillies lead it 4-1. And oh man, all 3 of the outfielders have gotten their mitts on a separate fly ball, and none of the 3 have been able to come up with them.
Yeah, and that was by far the toughest play of all of them too, because Feliz really hit that thing on the nose. It was hooking away from Maxwell, and it looked like he had a shot there right at the end. We'll see what we can see on a fastball, and Pedro hooks it towards the gap. Did he touch that?
I think he did. That was a tough play.
Oh yeah, that was a hard play. You know, the other plays were not you know, all that difficult, and they hurt the young player, but that was definitely a difficult play in center field.
Well, now they'll walk Ruiz intentionally, and there'll be runners on first and third for Jay Happ.
The other thing is he's throwing a lot of balls in the air, a lot of fly balls, and in this ballpark, that's never a great idea.
Ball 4 to Ruiz. This will be the 8th man to come to the plate in this inning for the Phillies. Well, it's time now for our Geico quote of the day. And it came from Pedro Feliz on hitting 300 this season. I won't put that in my mind, because when I'm hitting 300, I want to hit 310. When I'm at 310, I want to hit 320. If you're trying to get better every day, that's the way I see it. You're always striving to get better. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 800-947-AUTO.
Charlie was talking about what great swings Feliz can put on a ball sometimes. Other times, you know, he just has weak swings, and, you know, it kind of frustrates Pedro and everybody else. But he has a lot of ability offensively. Everybody knows how good he is as far as the third baseman goes.
Well, he came into this ball game hitting .307. And if his intention was to hit 310, he's past that. And now if his intention is to hit 320, he's closer to that.
Well, when he stays closed and loads up, the ball really jumps off his bat.
Jay Happ, a slow roller. Hernandez has got it, and the inning is over. But the Phillies scored 3 more runs in the inning. They sent 8 men to the plate, and they'll take a 4-1 lead into the 4th. Padres on Thursday, July 23rd at 7:05. It's also a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night here at the ballpark. You can order your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. Top of the fourth inning, Gary Matthews joins us. And Sarge, first things first, let me get your thoughts on the outfield play so far tonight for the Washington Nationals.
Well, you got to think those guys need some of those nets that you catch fish with. Might have a better chance. I mean, come on. And again, it's hard to judge pitching when you don't have good defense.
Yeah, the Nationals this year, and they haven't committed an error tonight, but they've committed 45 errors on the season, the most in the National League. And Adam Dunn and Josh Willingham misplayed a couple of fly balls in this game, and Justin Maxwell had a ball graze off his glove off the bat of Feliz, but that was a tough play. That was the toughest of the three.
Yeah, no doubt. Got a pretty good jump on the ball. He's very athletic.
Ryan Zimmerman leads things off here in the top of the fourth, and the count 1-1 strike.
Willingham's ball, I mean, that's a ball that you think should have been caught. And Dunn's ball, the guys are drifting on the ball. When you drift, you're going to have some problems.
See, the National League average for errors so far this year is 28 at this point, and the Nationals have 45, and the D-backs have 40. I guess it's easy to figure out why the Diamondbacks are in fourth place in the National League West and the Nationals are in fifth place in the National League East. Good changeup. 2-2.
Yeah, just the opposite with the Phillies. That's why they are where they are in second place, because of their defense. You know, they still aren't hitting the way they're capable, and I mean all together and gelling for about a couple weeks.
Zimmerman fights off another one, and the count remains 2-2 strikes.
Looking at one of the better third basemen as we get a catch there. No boos. Zimmerman, one of the better third basemen in Major League Baseball, period. Watch this catch come in here. Good one-hand piece.
Beer in one hand, and now the ball in the other one.
It's amazing the times that they catch the ball and not spill their beverage.
Looked like he had a towel there, though, just in case he did spill a little bit. 3-2 the count to Zimmerman. He fights off another one, and the count holds full 3-2. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, they're in the top of the fourth inning up at Citi Field, and the Marlins have taken a 1-0 lead over the Mets on a sacrifice fly by Dan Uggla. The Mets have a winning record against everybody in the division except for the Florida Marlins. And you know what, Sarge? Let's hope the Marlins hold true to form this weekend. Maybe take a couple from the Mets. Maybe sweep that series out.
Yeah, they have a good hitting ball club. I mean, they have some guys that can hit the ball. They get pretty good pitching at times, and they are not afraid or not intimidated by the Phillies or the New York Mets.
10th pitch of the at-bat is fouled back. And the records for Eastern Division teams against the East. The Mets at 13-8, the Phillies at 14-11. Not too shabby. How about the Nationals? 5-22.
Boy, I tell you, it makes it a long year starting in April. It's just hard to get things going.
Checked his swing at a pitch up high. They appeal, no swing, says the first base umpire Brian Knight. And that's the second walk of the night issued by Jay Happ. So the Nationals have a base runner here at the top of the fourth. Adam Dunn grounded out to Ryan Howard on the first pitch he saw his first time up, so he's 0 for 1.
More of an offensive player as opposed to defense. Doesn't matter where you put him. First base, left field. Doesn't play the defense you would like, but the offense, he's as good as just about anyone.
I thought when the Nationals acquired him that they might move Nick Johnson and just put him at first base.
Well, you can't catch the ball. You got to have guys that can catch the ball when it comes across the diamond.
That's at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, especially the double play ball that you might get at first base, going to second. I mean, that play has to be made, especially when you have the bases loaded, game close. That just is not the case with Adam Dunn.
You're right about the offense. 5 straight 40 home run seasons for Adam Dunn.
No, he's legit and has power in all the alleys.
Well, those numbers are up to date, including tonight. RBIs in the month of May. Dunn is second to Ibanez. And it remains 1 and 2. Oh, 29 RBIs here in the month of May.
And not only that, though, as good as his numbers are, he's let some go, especially in this ballpark, in particular a double play ball that he hit into, but he hit the ball hard, and that's all you can do. You can't guide it. Been calling that high pitch, especially the breaking ball.
Pop up. I don't know if Victorino sees that one. Now he does. Now he's calling everybody off. That ball was up there a mile, and the sky is changing a little bit up there as the rain zips out. It's now dusk here in South Philadelphia, and that sky is awfully tough to pick up the baseball.
Yeah, it sure is. Ibanez going all the way over there at center field to kind of point out where the ball was. You can check it out. Oh, I don't see it. I don't see it. Oh, well, there it is. I got it. I got it. So that's what you have to do. Stay with it. Don't bail out on it and hope that you see it. Just make sure, though, when you're looking up there in the air that you have your mouth closed, just in case.
Josh Willingham homered his first time up. He's up there now, and Happ tosses over to first. Well, that's what Shane Victorino is looking up into right now. That's the first base side. But this is what Ryan Howard is saying. See the difference as the storm goes through? That's a tough sky right now.
Yeah, and then when you hit the ball and it gets up in those clouds, you just lose it.
Change of speeds there by Jay Happ, and the count 0-1. Jay Happ was saying a couple weeks ago that if he did start again, one of the things he was going to work on was throwing his curveball more, because out of the bullpen he threw his fastball and his changeup. That was basically it. And he wondered about his curve. And he hits Willingham here, and the Nationals have 2 runners on. But the other day against the Yankees, he didn't need his curve.
No. Well, he was down in the zone and up with the fastball, but more importantly, he had it in good spots. And when you do that, and Happ's one of those pitchers that doesn't throw 93, 94, but what he does is he hides the ball well where the hitters can't really see it. The ball jumps on him at the last minute.
So Ruiz out to the mound just to chat with Happ, maybe about the signs, maybe about the situation. Josh Bard, the batter. Bard popped out to Ryan Howard his first time up, so he's 0 for 1. A little low, and it's 1-0. Bard is doing the catching tonight. The Nationals had hoped to get Jesus Flores back tonight and use him for this weekend. He has a shoulder injury, which he sustained about a week before the Phillies saw Washington down in D.C. Victorino started back. Now he comes in. He sees this one well, and there are 2 away.
Well, a lot of times outfielders will go on the sound of the ball, and you can see he's still having a little bit of problems on it. But you notice, though, how he got back right away, not drifting on the ball. Then he was able to come back in and make the adjustment. Worth going over to see exactly what he's talking about.
Think about it, though, Sarge. We've seen Ibanez and Worth both kind of tell Shane where the ball is. And I guess you have to do that if you're in left field or in right field.
No doubt about it. What you do is that you just start pointing where you think that the ball will be.
Want to know the count to Anderson Hernandez.
Just shows you, though, the different angles where in left and right you're able to see it. Straight away center, you can't. That ball's just almost right on top of you, and you got those gray clouds.
The count. Good play by Ruiz. Carlos made that scoop on that changeup. Runners on first and second. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Phillies scored a run in the second, 3 in the 3rd, and that's why they have this lead. Taking all the way, and that's in there for a strike.
Predictable count here for Happ. Fastball usually should be in a good spot.
It is a good spot. It's 3-2. Sarge, take a look at that little dance that Anderson Hernandez was doing as the pitch was coming in. It almost looks like he was nervous.
Or maybe just taking all the way. A lot of times players will do different things in the batter's box because that's their mechanism for getting themselves ready.
Like you used to do that twist.
Yeah, a little wiggle of the bat a little bit. I like that you did.
Yeah. See, there it is right there. Runners go. Pitches taken for a strike on the outside corner. Hernandez gave up on it, and Jay Happ picks up a strikeout to finish off this 4th inning. Anderson can't believe it, but great placement by the Phillies left-hander. Now let's go across the street to our Comcast studios for Greg Murphy with some breaking news. Here at Citizens Bank Park, Phillies lead at 4-1. Top of the order will go to work against Ross Detweiler for the Washington Nationals. Detweiler, the 23-year-old from Wentzville, Ohio. Former #1 pick out of Missouri State. And Jimmy Rollins, pepper in the left side, rolls that one inside the third base bag, and it's headed down toward the corner. And he's going to have his second 2-base hit of the night. Jimmy with a stand-up double to start the bottom of the 4th inning.
Ground ball, you can see right down the line. And J-Ro, one of those leadoff hitters, let's face it, he's going to have to hit. He doesn't take a lot of pitches or gets a lot of walks, so this leadoff hitter will have to swing the bat. He's hit the ball hard 3 times tonight so far.
And now he's in scoring position for Victorino. Now the Phillies had him in scoring position to start the 1st and didn't score. And Shane off the end of the bat flares it to center, and it's a base hit. His 2nd straight hit. And the Phillies have runners on 1st and 3rd. Jimmy had to wait to see if that ball was going to be caught or not, so that's why he stops at 3rd.
Yeah, not only that, Guzman had shortened up just so that he would not steal. Got to give Victorino, however, a lot of credit this year. He's keeping that ball out of the air. Last year we saw him pop up time after time. He's staying on top of the ball, driving it, taking what that pitcher. See that ball there, the swing that he gave? Rollins there, just seeing if it's going to be caught. Getting on into 3rd base. Nothing he can do. You can't score on that particular ball. No, if he comes in and playing a little shallow, he catches the ball. As you can see now, a little bit of a shift here for Chase Utley.
And Chase chops one towards 2nd. Hernandez is going to go to 2nd. Rollins will score. It's an RBI for Utley, and the Phillies lead it 5-1.
Boy, oh boy, excellent base running again by Victorino. A lot of times players in that situation will stop. That 2nd baseman can come over and tag you and then throw the ball to 1st. Victorino, he just outran the ball where he had to get the throw to 3rd base and then not able to get 2. Now watch Jimmy there in the bottom box. Automatically he's going to run, and Victorino beating that high hopper which was behind him. Picking up an RBI, Chase Utley.
You know, that's a good point, Sarge, about the base runner sometimes getting caught with a tag, because it would have been an easy double play, but instead it's only 1 out and a runner on 1st and a runner scored.
Exactly. That's by taking off there right away. And that's heads up play.
1-0 the count to Ryan Howard. Now 2-0. So the Phillies with 5 unanswered runs since the Nationals took a 1-0 lead in the top of the 2nd. Detweiler, who went to Missouri State, is facing a fellow Missouri State baseball player in Ryan Howard.
Yeah, he can be a little tough on the left-handers, I should say, simply because he kind of crossfires. He's been throwing the lefties in hard and then curveballs, but he has been getting the ball up. See, there's a fastball, making sure that it's in, and that's their game plan. We saw them in Washington. Their fastballs out over the plate were leaving the baseball, leaving the yard, I should say. Self-defense. Here's a pitch, not a good pitch to swing at. That ball in on his hands. Now they're trying to get those hands and pull them in.
There goes Utley, and the pitch is looped toward left. Willingham coming on, still coming on. He dives and he makes the catch. And Chase is going to have to go back to 1st.
Right.
Well, that was a good play.
Howard's got to think he has Buzzard's luck, and you're right. Willingham not able to get the ball over his head, but able to come in and tear up some turf as he catches this ball. Take a look at this. He leaves his feet. Only way he would have caught the ball if he left his feet. That's what he did as he comes in, straight out, dive, taking a chance, and he made a good play. I didn't think he was going to get it.
I didn't think he would either. Because he was playing pretty deep against Ryan. That'll bring Ibanez to the plate. And Raul pops it up. Bard, the catcher, gives it a look. Raul had a 2-run single his last time up. 46 RBIs for Ibanez.
He's able to pick those ribbies up, especially when they get on 3rd base. Less than 2 outs. driven in 100 runs. The last 3 years, over 100 runs. Well, he has a pretty good breaking ball, although he's keeping it up in the zone. And these guys that are young coming into the league, they can play on teams that are losing, not as much pressure.
That one hit sharply. Nice backhanded stab by Nick Johnson. And the inning is over. But the Phillies stack on another one. And an RBI ground out by Chase Utley, set up by the double by Jimmy Rollins. We head to the fifth. It's 5-1 Phillies. Here at Citizens Bank Park. And Jay Happ working with a 4-run lead, facing 8, 9, and 1. And 9 is going to be a pinch hitter because Austin Kearns is out in the on-deck circle for Washington. Justin Maxwell grounded out to Jimmy Rollins to finish off the second, and there's Kearns. And it's 0-2.
You look at the numbers and just say, wow, he didn't pitch too well, but it doesn't tell the story because there were balls maybe that should have been caught that wasn't.
Well, there were at least two. You know, the one by Willingham and the one by Adam Dunn probably should have been caught. The one by Maxwell that Feliz hit,
right?
Feliz killed it.
Oh, he did.
And Maxwell covered a lot of ground.
This guy's a good athlete. A little overmatched right now in terms of the hitting.
And he's down on strikes. Or no, excuse me, now it's 2-2. I thought Hunter Wendelstedt had called that first pitch a strike.
Yeah, a lot of times these kids will come up. They have good tools.
Now he's down on strikes. Right at the knees, a called strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Jay Happ. Phillies baseball is brought to you by your Quality Plus Ford dealers. By Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Philadelphia Phillies. And by Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEFF-NOW. So Ross Detweiler's day is done after 4 innings. Austin Kearns is up there to pinch hit. There's Jason Bergman, the Rutgers grad, who's up and loosening now for the Nats. And it's 2-0 to Kearns. Kearns hitting just .213 with 3 home runs and 15 RBIs.
I thought he would be much a better player. He has had injuries. late on a fastball, and there was a time when you couldn't throw this kid a fastball early on when he was with the Cincinnati Reds.
Why does that change so quickly, Sarge?
Well, there's injuries too, though, that he's had over the last few years. Sure has some to do with it. A lot of times, one of my real good friends, Jody Davis, he went over to the Atlanta Braves where he used to kill the Braves and then just didn't hit, just stopped hitting.
Career numbers for Austin Kearns, 105 career home runs. And he draws a walk. So he's aboard with one out here in the top of the 5th inning. Well, the Toronto Blue Jays are coming to town Tuesday, June 16th at 7:05. It's the start of a 3-game series. The 17th, the Phillies will salute Jackie Robinson prior to the start of the ball game. And then Thursday, the 18th, is the Citizens Bank Business Person Special. You can order your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. And the Jays have lost 9 straight. And they trail the Red Sox right now 2-1 in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Well, it almost seems impossible with the pitching that they have. And particularly Roy Halladay. But every time, though, he comes out, he has the lead. The bullpen gives it up.
Guzman 0 for 2. He's grounded out to shortstop and fly to right. And he's going to bounce out toward Chase Utley at second base. And there are 2 away. Chase probably had a chance to get the lead runner at second with a throw. Instead tried to tag him, and Kearns avoided the tag.
Yeah, well, he had it in his mind all the way that he was going to come on in and try and put the tag on him. You see him coming in, and what Kearns does is he actually dances by him, dodging him, if you will. You can see how he goes out of the way. Maybe Utley thought maybe he was out of the baseline. It looked like he may have been. Not getting the call, however.
So he's in scoring position for Nick Johnson, who takes a strike. It's 0-1. Johnson singled his last time up. And it's 0-2 to Nick Johnson, who had a heck of an at-bat his last time up against Jay Happ. The last at bat, he saw 11 pitches and wound up singling to center field.
Yeah, Nick is a legit 300 type hitter. You know, doesn't hit a lot of home runs, but he's a gap type hitter, will drive in runs. And he's a thinking man's batter when he's up at the plate. Doesn't swing at a lot of bad pitches. Tries to put the ball in play. Excellent defensive player, as you saw that last inning, as he picked a hot shot. Rich Duty's looking on.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, up to Citi Field, Omir Santos has hit his 3rd home run to tie up that game with the Marlins. So it's 1-1, top of the 6th inning. And he's feeding souvenirs to that third base side of the Hall of Fame club. I mean, most of them were down a little bit the last time he was up. That one was closer to us.
Well, Ruiz going out, maybe changing the signs or location of what he wants to try and do. Catchers will do that when hitters are fouling the balls off, just missing them and taking healthy cuts. So far, not fooling Nick Johnson at all. More souvenirs.
It's uncanny what he's doing in this game. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get one all the way up there. Guy's got his camera out because there must be a beautiful sunset behind him there. That one's in the air to center field. Pretty well hit, but Victorino scampers back a few steps from the warning track, makes the catch. That was the 8th pitch of the at-bat, so 19 pitches for Nick Johnson, his last 2 at-bats, and half is through this inning. It'll be Worth, Feliz, and Ruiz as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Ricky Bottalico's extensive game breakdown, plus player reactions on Sloan Toyota presents Phillies post-game live after the game, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Bottom of the 5th inning, it's 5-1 Phillies out in Ashburn Alley. Folks are enjoying the scenery. It's cooled off a little bit. It was warm this afternoon. The storms came through. And Sarge, it's supposed to be a beautiful weekend. And the fans are enjoying tonight's game of all ages. That gentleman just said, look how happy he is. And it's because the Phillies have a 5-1 lead.
Exactly. Well, you like the way they've been adding on so far. That's what you want to try and do.
Well, it's in the air to right center field. Maxwell has good speed, and Worth is retired. Jason Bergman is the new pitcher for the Nationals. He'll come on in relief of Ross Detweiler, who went the first 4, allowed 10 hits and 5 runs. A walk and 2 strikeouts. 8th game of the season for Bergman, who's had the easy pass between here and AAA. He delivers a breaking ball to Pedro Feliz for strike 1. Pedro 2 for 2 with an RBI.
Well, you saw where Clint Hurdle was fired today. When I was fired with the Chicago Cubs, Clint Hurdle was the only manager to call me back.
He's a nice guy.
Oh, I'll say. You want to find out who your friends are? Get fired. Oh, boy.
Line drive caught by Guzman at shortstop.
Boy, he's hitting everything hard. And Pedro Feliz. Ball's got to be awful big to him.
Well, here's the news Sarge was talking about. Clint Hurdle fired after 7+ years in Colorado. He won 1 National League pennant. 534 wins. Jim Tracy replaces him. Tracy managed for the Dodgers, the Pirates. And that's where the Rockies sit. They were expected to contend for what is not a very good National League West.
Well, the Dodgers are a very good team. I mean, they've been playing, and they've showed that, playing against other teams in the National League. But they got off to a slow start. Some of the guys that they have Tulowitzki for one, not getting off to the start that he would like.
1-2 the count to Ruiz.
Helton, a Hall of Famer, first baseman. His best years are obviously behind him. He's still a good player, but not like he was years ago.
Ruiz reaches out and pushes this one toward right over the head of Dunn, and it's going to be an extra base hit for Carlos. Boy, that ball carried nicely, and Dunn was playing in and over toward the line. He had no chance to track that one down.
Oh, he just started running as soon as the ball was hit. Didn't even throw up a glove or to try and see whether or not he would be able to catch it. He knows that he couldn't. He can't believe, though, Ruiz has that power to hit the ball to right field. He's been driving the ball to right field as he sticks his backside out a little bit and drives that ball. No, nothing that he can do. There's that swing again. He's just so strong, but again, he is staying in there, not bailing all the way, and drove that ball into right field.
Jay Happ with a healthy cut, and he fouls that one back. It's 0-1.
Well, that's what you like, getting production down from the bottom of the lineup, putting pressure on the pitcher.
7, 8, 9 in this order for the Phillies tonight. 4 for 5 with a couple of RBIs, 3 extra base hits.
Takes pressure off not only the beginning of the lineup.
Oh, Happ is down swinging, so the inning is over. So Ruiz is stranded at second base. We've played 5 here in South Philadelphia, and the Phillies lead 5-1. Things around, finishing May with a 3-1 record and back-to-back wins for the first time this season. The May finale was a dandy against the Marlins, throwing 7 strong innings, putting up zeros the whole way and punching out a career-high 11 batters. Blanton's resurgence is brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. Well, Joe Blanton will start with the Phillies head out west to take on the San Diego Padres this week. In fact, they begin a series against San Diego on Monday. There's Joe talking to Brett Myers, who's back from New York. And Brett, as we found out today, will have surgery. We can't say that it's going to end his season because we don't know what the timetable will be once the physicians go in. And Dr. Brian Kelly, the same surgeon who operated on Chase Utley at the end of last season, will do the surgery to repair Brett's hip injury. He has a torn labrum in his right hip and also some bone spurs. And Chase worked his tail off to get back here for the start of the season. If you use the same timeline, then it probably will be the season for Brett Myers.
Well, you're looking at different ways guys work. Utley is a workaholic. So it remains to be seen exactly when Brett will get back, but I'm sure he's going to want to try and get back and pitch this year for sure.
Saw Chad Durbin loosening up in the bullpen for the Phils. You have to give Brett credit too, because this offseason he slimmed down, lost about 30 pounds, and that took some burden off of that hip as well. He's going to want to get back if the Phillies are in the mix And they're going to be in the mix in September for the postseason. Zimmerman serves one into right for a base hit to start the top of the 6th inning. Here's Dunn, who's 0 for 2. He's popped out to center, grounded out to first.
You can see those numbers are still decent. 280. And about 16 bombs.
A little high cheese right there.
Again, he hides his ball pretty good. And, you know, those high fastballs you don't like to swing at, but it looks so inviting. And a lot of times those hitters will swing right through it. Looking for another fastball on the outside part of the plate. See Dunn there just kind of sitting on breaking ball. Usually pitchers don't go back to back or double up. Throwing 2 fastballs. Want to make sure this one is out of the zone. Now just check him out on his delivery there. Just hides the ball, and you see how he wraps in, he whips the ball in, and hitters don't get a chance to take a long look at it. Rich Dooley, pitching coach, looking on. See you later.
Right on the inside corner, strikeout looking for Jay Happ. Jay now has all but one of his strikeouts looking tonight.
Well, here's a pitch right there. You can see that ball late movement. Now here's his delivery again. Very difficult. He throws that glove at you. Hand comes down. Freezes Dunn right there. He looks like it. That's a good pitch. I can change in the eye levels. Up, down.
Ooh. And he hits Willingham for the 2nd time in this game.
Just trying to make sure that the ball is in when he gets it there. Willingham had hit a home run in the 2nd inning on a fastball.
Charlie Manuel's going out to the mound, and kind of a slow walk for Charlie.
Yeah, you would think probably that he might go on and take him out. He doesn't want to take a chance and have any kind of home runs hit. And might ask him how he feels. And, you know, a lot of times players going to the mound have a lot to do with Charlie's decision, and it's not working.
Well, he's at 96 pitches. We mentioned that his last outing against the Yankees, he was in his 70s with his pitch count. He's at 75. So Jay Happ is going to exit with 1 out here at the top of the 6th. Pretty good night for the Phillies left-hander. Gets a nice round of applause as he gives way to Chad Durbin. The 6th inning, but he pitched a heck of a 5 1/3 so far tonight, Sarge. And in fact, he was keeping them off balance and getting them looking.
Well, he sure was getting them looking. His location was good, had pretty good movement on his pitches. But look out that low fastball that he throws, and when he wants to throw it up, he can. Good pitching to Dunn. That's really something that he'll be able to build on for his next start. But you got to like his demeanor. You know, he's not sitting there and laughing or thinking like, oh, okay, well, I did my job. Well, his job will be done if no runs are scored. But more importantly, he's able to go in there and show what he's all about.
Well, give way to Chad Durbin in his 25th game. You see Chad's numbers. His last appearance here at Citizens Bank Park came against the Florida Marlins. And he allowed 3 runs, one of which was earned, and now he's on with a runner at second. That's Ryan Zimmerman, and a runner at first. That's Josh Willingham. And 1 out with the Phillies leading at 5-1, and Josh Bard at the plate. Happ walked 3, hit 2, hit the same guy twice. And it's 1-1 to Bard.
Bard has an exaggerated open stance at the plate. And those guys that have open stance, they're usually going to be diving. So that really good pitch, hard stuff in and soft away usually will put those kind of guys away. And he has a long swing to boot, meaning that it takes a long time to get to the ball, not short and quick.
Well, Bard and Will Nieves are going to have to handle the catching for this weekend because Jesus Flores had a setback from his injury, coming back from his injury. He was supposed to come off the disabled list today, and he's got a little tendonitis in his sore shoulder, his right shoulder. So they will not have him for this weekend.
Not good to have a sore shoulder catching. Guys will start running on you as soon as they feel you have that.
Remains 1 ball and 2 strikes to Bard.
He's taking pretty good swings. Durbin trying to keep that ball in on him. He did throw that ball, which was a high changeup. Don't want to speed this guy's bat up. Ruiz goes through his signs. Notice how he's touching different areas from the chest protector, the mask. A lot of times those can be the sign. And the decoy would be just the fingers that he would put in. So he could go one touch with a mask, fastball on the chest, breaking ball or a slider. And then he'll give numbers just as a decoy because there's a runner at second base thinking that maybe he might be given the signs.
Could one of those sets also be location?
Well, usually he'll hit inside or outside on location on the leg to make sure of that.
That one's into the air to right field. It's pretty deep. Worth going back to the warning track to the wall, and it's off the base of the wall. Rounding third and scoring is Zimmerman. Stopping at third is Willingham. And it's an RBI double for Josh Bard. And the Phillies lead is down to 3. That run is charged to Jay Happ.
See this pitch right here, another changeup it looked like, which was down and away. They decided to go soft, and he caught that ball there, hitting a line drive right off the wall. Zimmerman coming into your pitcher, third baseman for Nationals, as he scores.
So it's now 5-2 Phillies.
You want to stop the bleeding and stop it right now.
I don't know about everybody else, but when that ball left the bat, I thought it had a chance to get out of here.
Well, the way that Jason was running after the ball, you feel he might have had a chance to stay in.
Infield plays back. The Phillies leading it by 3. Hernandez is 0 for 2. Happ got him looking his last time up. See, the infield is set up, and it's 0-2.
These are the clubs you don't want to stay close to. You want to really put them away where they just have no hope at all.
Much of the Nationals have scored runs this year. Their biggest issue, beyond their defense, because they've committed a lot of errors, has been the ERA. And Manny Acta has seen his team lose a number of different ways this year. Durbin trying to bite the outside part of the plate, and it's 1-2. Charlie Manuel has had similar issues from a pitching standpoint, but the starters have done well the last few outings. Ooh, man. That was a strike a little while ago. And it's 2-2.
Charlie looking on and see where this pitch is. Oh boy, you got to have an eagle eye to take that pitch. I don't know. Pretty close. Might have been a little bit in.
Didn't come back, and it's 3-2.
Tried to backdoor him with a slider that did not come back. It just was sliding and sliding away.
Maxwell's on deck. Over at third is Willingham. On second is Bard. The count 3-2 to Anderson Hernandez. He just fought that one off.
Yeah.
The young boy just said thank you to the gentleman who took that one off the short hop onto his body. Thank you for stopping that, sir. I appreciate it. Eighth pitch of this at bat, and it's a bouncer right side, off the glove of Howard into right field, a base hit. One scores, the other runner stops at third, but then Worth bobbles the ball. The throw to second, not in time. And the Phillies' lead is down to 1. Oh boy. That ball just rolled right off the glove of Jason Worth. He must have picked his head up. He must have just lost sight of it.
Yeah, we've never seen that, not even last year, as the ball just scoots through. Thought Howard might have had a chance as he slows it down a little bit. Well, he comes in, he just misses the ball. He had that glove maybe just turned straight down, as opposed to maybe where that side of your glove is on the ground. He knows that's a ball that he probably should have caught.
Oh, now with one away, the lead is down to 1.
Yeah, not only that, though, you take him right out of that double play situation. If he gets the ball, gets it in, you have runners at first and third instead of 2 runs in and a runner at second base with 1 out.
The ball nearly hit Maxwell. 1 ball and 1 strike. So you can close the book on Jay Happ. 5 1/3 tonight. Jay allowed 3 hits. And he's being charged with 3 runs. Good slider by Durbin. 1-2 the count to Maxwell.
Well, Jay Happ, obviously, he pitched better than what the numbers would show. Kept the hitters off balance for the most part. A little bit wild. Ended up hitting Willingham twice.
He also had 3 at-bats that cost him some pitches, too. Maxwell, did he go? Doesn't matter. He fouled it into the glove of Ruiz. He's down on strikes, and that's the second out. And let's see what Manny Acta is going to do here with the pitcher's spot due up. Maxwell goes back to the dugout after striking out, and Ronnie Belliard is going to pinch hit for the Nationals.
Almost see every opportunity he gets to try and drive in a run. He sends a hitter up there as Verone is getting ready to come into the game.
Belliard hitting just $164 on the year.
Well, you talk about a game of inches. That ball just squeaking by as it hits Howard's glove.
Scott Ayers has been loosening up the last few batters. And if Durbin winds up losing Belliard, you would think that Charlie is going to go out and get him and bring Scott into this game. One and two the count to Belliard.
See Belliard's numbers, pinch hitting, 1 home run to his credit.
One hit in his last 19 at-bats. That's a span of 11 games. Hernandez getting a good walking lead off second base as the Nationals have scored 3 runs in this inning. Good stop by Ruiz, and it runs to 2-2.
Well, you can just see how important it is to be able to play good defense. When you're playing good defense, if you're not hitting the ball the way you should, and tonight they're hitting the ball. It's not too shabby there with the glove. But those are plays that you should be able to make. I think, though, Jason just slows down a little. Just with reputation, they're not going to run on. See, Jason. And he has such a strong arm. Right away, third base coaches are holding up the runners. They don't even want to take a chance.
Belliard breaks his bat, looper to third, and the inning is over. But the Nationals scored 3 runs in the inning. It made this a ball game as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Phillies lead is at 1. Iced mochas, lattes, and cappuccinos. McDonald's, I'm loving it. By Southwest Airlines. Book your next trip at southwest.com. And by your local Chevy dealers. Sold out crowd tonight of 45,202. It is the 18th sellout of the season for the Phillies, and they have reached the 1 million mark in attendance. It's the earliest the Phillies have reached the 1 million mark in the history of this beautiful ballpark. 24th home game. Ron Ballone will start the bottom of the 6th inning. This is his 14th game of the season. Ballone is 2-0 with a 0.00 ERA. And Jimmy Rollins greets him with a hard ground ball to the hole at shortstop, and Guzman throws him out.
Boy, what an arm. He showed that off as he just picks that ball in the hole. So that was a good shortstop before he got hit. Still a good hitter. You can see as he goes to the hole, sets himself. He knows he has a strong arm, even though Jay Rhodes, a above average runner, gets him by plenty.
Oh, Jimmy retired. He's 2 for 4 tonight with a couple of doubles. And here's Shane Victorino, who's got 2 hits as well.
Well, the thing you like about him, he's been hitting the ball hard. He's hit very easily, could be 4 for 4.
Yeah, because that ball he hit to center in the second inning was pretty well struck.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all he has to do now. Just continue to hit the ball hard, and those balls will start to fall.
Victorino lines one to left. He's got a 3-hit night. Pretty good homestand brewing for Shane Victorino. That's his 8th hit in this homestand in 15 at-bats. Well, speaking of these sellouts that we talked about, 18 so far this year. If you want to make sure that you're part of these sellout crowds, you might want to customize your own 4-pack. You can log on to Phillies.com to find out more information on that. What you can do is you can pick a hot game like the Mets, the Friday fireworks, or the Brad Lidge bobblehead, and then add 3 more of your choosing. Again, you can log on to Phillies.com. That's the Grand Slam 4-pack. 1 out. Chase Utley, the hitter. Chase has got a double, run scored, and RBI. And that one's off the end of the bat. Little flare to center. And Chase is retired on the first pitch. All right, give it to me again now, Sarge. Victorino's on first. Howard's up. Does he wait until there are 2 strikes to go?
Yeah, I would. Definitely give him a shot. See if he can work the count. Get that count in his favor. If he goes no balls and 2 strikes, that for me is automatic run to get over the second base. And then if you get there, even if he's 1 and 2, you have more pressure on the pitcher with that runner in scoring position.
Now, you wouldn't go early in the count to get into scoring position, or would you stay away from that?
Well, I wouldn't go early, and definitely if it's a right-handed pitcher, I'm not going to go because they might be more apt to walk him, even though Ibanez is swinging the bat the way that he is. I always want to give your 4th hitter or 5th hitter or the guy that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. I want to give him a chance to get his pitch to see if he can do just that.
Hits it hard right past Victorino. It's a shallow right, but Hernandez is there, and for the second time tonight, Ryan is hit right into that national shift. Philly Strand 1. We've played 6. It's a 1-run game.
Well, this game following a similar pattern between the Phillies and the Washington Nationals this year. And Phillies seem to get a lead on these guys, and they stay after them, catch up, or get close to catching up the way they are. Right now, they just hit the Phils with a 3 spot in the 6th inning. Jay Happ went 5 1/3 tonight. Did a good job. Carlos Ruiz 2 for 2 with a couple of doubles. And Raul Ibanez, a 2-run single in that 3-run third. Scott Air, the 3rd pitcher of the game for Charlie Manuel, will start the 7th inning. Scott coming into game number 20. He'll face the top of the order and Christian Guzman. Go ahead, Tommy.
Well, Guzman is 0 for 3 and make that 0 for 4. Just like that, swings at the first pitch.
That was good.
Well, it's up to Phillies bullpen now to try to nurture this 1-run lead into the back end. Ryan Matson's starting to tune up in there, that pen. So is Clay Condrey. See Chan-Ho Park there in that Phillies bullpen. Charlie was asked today about Chan-Ho Park and whether he would be put back into the starting rotation with the injury to Brett Myers. And if he missed it, Brett will have surgery on that sore hip and is going to be out for a significant amount of time, possibly the year. And you know, Charlie said he just likes Chan-Ho Park's role right now. He likes what he's doing in the pen, likes the fact that he can get 1 or 2 innings from him, and thinks he's going to be more effective there than in the rotation.
Well, that multiple inning thing is the most important, because there aren't many guys that do that nowadays, and Chan-Ho Park's capable of doing that. Nick Johnson's the reason why Jay Happ is probably out of this game. How many balls did he foul off on him? It seemed like 10.
Well, he had the 9-pitch at bat, and he had the 8-pitch at bat, so 17 total. And that one is at a mile high. Right field, it's deep but playable.
Oh,
boy, that thing was way up there. 2 away.
That got Jason Wurz staggering a little bit. No problem with the sky now. Of course, it's dark, not like it was before when Victorino had trouble with a couple of them. But that is a big league fly ball, and it started to drift on him.
Nobody on, and Ryan Zimmerman is the batter. Zimmerman is singled, walked, and struck out. He scored a run in the 6th inning. Jay Happ went the first 5 1/3, struck out 5. 4 of those guys he got looking. One hopper right at Chase Utley. Easy 1-2-3 inning for Scott Air. That's the kind of inning you like if you're a pitcher. Time to stretch here at Citizens Bank Park. It'll be Ibanez, Worth, and Feliz when we get back. Shutout innings in a postseason game. 2 Phillies pitchers that have pitched 8 shutout innings in a postseason game.
Kurt Schilling, of course, in the World Series in '93. And I'm going to say either Robin Roberts or Jim Constanti, and I'm wrong on both of them. Cole Hamels, that's right. It was just last year.
That's the one I thought you would get right off the bat. You'd have to
I forgot about the recent
dig
history.
back for Kurt Schilling.
I was thinking of Robbie and Constanti back in 1950. They both had great games in the first 2 games of the World Series.
In case you're not sure, Wheels was incorrect, as that buzzer lets you know.
Oh, yeah.
You can log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fans.
I think you make it that easy.
2-0 the count to Ibanez to start the 7th. And it's 2-1.
19 foul balls tonight for J Happ. So there's 19 pitches. And, you know, he's at that point, and, you know, the pitch count becomes a controversial subject. But it is part of the game now, and, you know, you have to pay attention to it, and that helped him, you know, have a shorter outing tonight than they had hoped.
Still looked pretty good, though.
He did a good job. He hung in.
4 strikeouts looking of the 5. And he got some pretty good hitters, too.
Yes.
Got Dunn. He got Zimmerman swinging.
Oh, there's nothing about his outing tonight, Tom, you wouldn't look at as a positive, except that he didn't go as deep as you hoped he could go.
Ibanez lines one to left center. That's a base hit. And Raul's 2 for 4. Well, these lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank, with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Maniac just headed out to the mound, so that's going to be it for Ron Vallone. With Jason Worth due up, the Nationals are going to go to their bullpen, and Mike McDougal, who was just called up from AAA, will bring his big tall body into this game for the first time here in 2009. So the Phillies with a 1-run lead. They've got the leadoff base runner on here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Syracuse looked like that in 8 games. A 3.24 ERA, 2 saves. McDougal last year pitched in 16 games for the White Sox. Had a 2.12 ERA. And that has to go under the listing of I don't get it. I mean, that's a pretty good year in only 16 games.
Well, this guy's had McDougal's had a really good career in the American League. A lot of saves and was a good pitcher. You know, for whatever reason, they released him earlier this month, and Washington signed him.
We'll face Jason Worth with a runner on first. Ibanez started, and then he stopped. He must have spun his wheels and didn't get a good jump.
In fact, we saw him come walking in today. He's with his equipment bag, and he was carrying a White Sox bag. Here's Raul. He doesn't usually run, but it looked like he was running on that.
Not going there, and it's 2-0.
This guy used to throw really hard.
Well, when I said I don't get it, I mean, if you're starved for pitching, the way the Nationals are starved for pitching, As Joe Bimo off the disabled list is up and throwing. Well, you would think that he would have been up here a little earlier than this.
The only thing you can figure, Tom, is they had to do some roster juggling. You know, that 40-man roster can cause problems sometimes, whether you can bring a guy up or not.
He closed for the Royals back in 2005. And he earned 21 saves. He had 27 saves in 03.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He had a good career in the American League.
There goes Ibanez. Pitches bounced toward the vacant hole at shortstop. Knocked down by Guzman, but it's going to be a base hit. Phillies have done a lot of that the last couple of weeks where they've hit the ball to where the spot was that the infielder stood before he went over to cover.
Well, that looked like a hit and run because the count was 2-1. It didn't look like a straight steal. Maybe we could tell on the replay. You see Guzman come back and save a first and third by knocking that down. He was not covering on the play, but he started to move, and then he had to move back the other way. The second baseman, Hernandez, was covering.
So now runners on first and second with nobody out. And a guy that's had a whale of a night. He's hit the ball hard all 3 times. Will bat for the Phillies. 2 for 3 with an RBI triple.
They bunt with him sometimes.
And he swears. And he takes it low.
Yeah, you know, Feliz is one of those guys that Charlie really feels comfortable with in a situation where he wants to put a bunt down. And he put one down earlier in the game, earlier this year in the game, to help win it for the Phillies. That was that game where somebody threw it away down the right field line. Oh, it was these guys.
It was that throw that
right on that Sunday afternoon.
Threw right past Anderson Hernandez.
The Sunday afternoon game when Hernandez didn't see it or whatever happened.
And Collazo going through the signs. Swinging away again. That ball was fouled off the foot of Feliz. And it's 1-2. Pedro's the 3rd best batting average in the National League with runners in scoring position. And he has a runner in scoring position here. Down on strikes. He fouled it right into the glove of Bard. That was a high slider from McDougal.
Yeah, he had a hanging breaking ball there, and you can see he pulled off it. That's a shoulder fly out here. Him open up, and then he can't get to a hanger.
One out for Carlos Ruiz as Feliz will get himself ready to go back out into the field. Feliz has been hot. Well, Ruiz has been hot too.
Yeah, he had a couple of balls over Dunn's head in right field. They do have Bimel up as we showed, and
and the bases are loaded.
That's the trouble evidently, Tom, with McDougal is he's wild.
Not sure if he's going to face Greg Dobbs, who is going to be announced pinch hitter for the Phillies. Fanatic trying to get the crowd riled up.
Well, here you see the fastball come in and hits him right on the 5. Now, if he brings Bible in, you might see John Mayberry Jr.
Maniac is going to make a pitching change here. McDougal's day is done as he faces 3 batters, allows a hit, hits 1, and strikes out the other. And Joe Bimel's day is just beginning for Washington. He'll be the new pitcher when we return. Series photo booth and admission tickets. They're $10 a piece. Now, with the admission tickets, you get a grab bag, an opportunity to go to Every Roll's a Winner. That's always a fun one. Wheels, you're always at Every Roll's a Winner.
Oh, yeah, it's good. It's a good time, Tom.
With Ball Girl Dunk Tank, and then the silent auction items, such as the 2008 autographed balls, bats, jerseys, and much more. The proceeds benefit the ALS Association, the Greater Philadelphia chapter. You can call 215-463-1000 or log on to Phillies.com now for more information.
We have not received our assignments for this year, but I'm sure it'll be Every Roll's a Winner.
Well, Joe Beimel is the new pitcher for the Nationals, and with his introduction, John Mayberry Jr. will come out and pitch hit for the Phillies. 20th game for Beimel.
Well, both sides knew it was going to happen there. You know, Charlie Manuel sent Dobbs up. He knew the left-hander was going to come in, and he decided he wants this matchup.
See Big John's numbers: 2 for 8 so far this year, a home run and 3 RBIs. What a debut he had last Saturday in that game that Happ pitched at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, he gets his first at bat here in this ballpark
with the bases loaded. And he takes one for a strike. A little bit of a slider. There's Ibanez at third. Worth is on second. And Ruiz is over at first.
Yeah, they just want to get a run out of this. Obviously, they want more, but you know, Washington has gotten back to make this a one-run game with 6 outs to go.
Out in front, and it's 0-2. Well, the Phillies recalled Mayberry from AAA. He was having himself a pretty good stretch, and they hoped that they could catch lightning in a bottle when he came back up here, or came up here for the first time. 8 homers and 25 RBIs.
It's a really tough role. Sit around, you know, he hasn't played since Sunday. But this is why he's here, for a spot like this.
Gets a piece of it. I asked him if he had talked to his dad at all about this role of being a major league pinch hitter. He said, my dad didn't do a whole lot of sitting in the big leagues.
I'm going to say, I don't remember Big John coming off the bench like this too often. He was a starting player.
Said he has picked the brain of Greg Dobbs, Matt Stairs, guys like that about how to keep themselves loose. Jason Worth as well. Again, 0-2. He lays off.
That'll be one of those ones where we'll put our ace statistician Carl Graber on it. How many pinch hit appearances did John Mayberry Sr. have? He'll find it for us. He doesn't have to. Tomorrow's fine. Don't have to do it now.
We want it before the next pitch.
No.
2-2 the count.
Carl's great at that stuff. He'll get it for us.
There's Greg Dobbs, who was introduced as a pinch hitter, but with the switch to the left-hander, they decided to go with the right-handed hitting John Mayberry. Junior's dad hit 255 career home runs in the big leagues. 2-2 is chopped foul. He holds 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Brought his glove. Ball girl caught it for him, and then handed it to him. Good night.
Very good night for him. Show it off a little bit.
Nice at bat. He was buried 0-2. Well, you know, this doesn't mean that Beimel will get hit with a fastball either. You know, the worst swing that Mayberry's had in this at bat was on a changeup.
And then he laid off a couple pitches that were in the same area.
Look at the crowd reacting here. This is nice.
Sold out crowd to their feet with the bases loaded. The 3-2 count to Mayberry. And he stays alive.
He did throw him a fastball, looked like. And Beimel doesn't throw real hard, and he's just trying to keep it in a spot where he doesn't get hurt here. Mayberry's trying to hurt him.
remaining person comes to her feet.
What do you mean about the enthusiasm in this ballpark? It's just a shame the Phillies haven't been able to do a whole lot here this year because the fans are into these games.
Swing and a miss, and Mayberry's down on strikes for the second out. Fastball at 86.
Had it down. He had a pretty good spot. Here you see it's a little two-seamer. Sinker. Probably ball 4.
She was not happy, and she's letting the Nationals dugout know it.
Yeah. Did you do that to my guy?
So Mayberry's down on strikes. Beimel and Bard talk at the mound. Jimmy Rollins 2 for 4. Good night for Jimmy. Turning around what was not a great homestand for him. 1 for 13 before today as Ryan Matson loosens up in the pen. A couple big extra runs out there for the Phillies here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Take a glance up at that scoreboard to see the line score. And it kind of wakes you up a little bit. Phillies have scored 5 runs. You can see the 5 runs where they scored them on 14 hits.
Yeah, they got some LOBs tonight. And they're trying not to tack on some more here.
Little cue shot towards second. Hernandez makes the grab, and they do add on. They've stranded 11 so far through the first 7 innings tonight. Manny Octa rolled the dice, got out of this jam, and the Phillies lead is at 1. WB Mason. Who but WB Mason for amazingly low office product prices. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 800-947-AUTO. Down by City Hall on a nice night downtown in Center City, and then inside the ballpark as well, where a crowd of more than 45,000. Watch the Phillies take a 5-1 lead. It's now 5-4 as we begin the top of the 8th inning. And Ryan Matson is the new pitcher for the Phillies. Scott Air worked a perfect 7th inning. 1-2-3. Scotty looked good. Here's Matson in his 23rd game. 2-1 with a 2.82 ERA. He gets Adam Dunn swinging and missing on the first pitch. It's 0-1.
One of those numbers on John Mayberry Sr.
20 for 73 in pinch hit appearances.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. A lot of it must have come his last year.
Yeah.
The Yankees.
So you could talk to him about pinch hitting. It's quite a few plate appearances.
Here's young John Mayberry. Oh, just missed. 2-1.
Phillies have the overshift on for Dunn, but Utley is not real deep in the outfield. Nobody plays deeper than the Nationals, whether it's Belliard, Hernandez, whoever's out there.
That one's in the air to right, off the end of the bat, and there's one away. Good changeup from Matson.
Right, Tom, and that's why I was off the end of the bat, because he threw him a changeup after those fastballs, and he got him out front.
One out for Josh Willingham, who homered his first time up. He's been hit by a pitch the last 2 times up. Jay Happ tonight started. He went 5 1/3. 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 scored when he was gone. 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. Hit a couple of guys, a couple of batters, the same one. Good numbers for Willingham against Ryan. 6 for 17 against him. And it's 1-1.
Phillies have decided to go with a guarding the line defense with Feliz playing towards the line at third base, giving Willingham a big shot at a hole there on the left side. They're playing him to pull, but you're trying to stay away from a double down the line here in a 1-run game. It's late.
To center field, that's going to drop in for a base hit. Willingham has 2 hits tonight, and the Nationals have a base runner here in the top of the 8th. Oh, Wheels, it was good to see Danny O'Rourke back at work today.
Boy, wasn't it? And he looks great.
Yep, from the Phillies clubhouse. Danny had surgery a couple months ago to repair a valve in his heart, and he did. He looked super. And he said he got clearance from the doctor yesterday and today to drive, and he was right here at the ballpark.
He probably had a little cabin fever.
Josh Bard, the batter, and he swings and misses at a changeup. It's 0-1.
Showing us that zipper on his chest where they cracked him open to do that surgery.
How'd you feel looking at that?
It was, you know, I'm looking at it thinking I'm glad I don't have one. But it's great to have Danny back. He's just such a good guy and does a great job down in that clubhouse. Also travels with us different times along with Phil Sheridan and Kevin Steinauer. And they work hard. They do a good job. And he's part of the family. It's great to have him back.
1-1 the count to Josh Bard. 1-2. Well, he's still not allowed to lift anything over 20 pounds. So I told him just to call up here and you'd go down and lift anything that he needed to have lifted.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he'll take you up on that too, knowing Danny. He's got big, strong Frank down there to help him. He'll handle it.
A little low, 2-2. Josh Bard had a double his last time up. He doubled to the wall in right center field.
That's a big hit in that inning. 2-2 count. Hit that double to right center. Really set up. Got 1 run in. Set up the other 2.
I mentioned that when the ball left the bat, I thought I had a chance to get out of here too.
Looked like I don't know what the pitch was. It may have been a changeup.
Count has run full, 3-2 to Bard. With Anderson Hernandez waiting on deck.
What you're trying to do now is have a quick 8th inning, a clean 8th inning, because then that prevents them from turning the lineup over for the big hitters in the 9th inning against Lidge. The 8th inning can be very important in a lot of ways, and that's just another way.
There goes the runner. 3-2 is hit foul.
Sometimes you'll wind up an 8th inning guy will come in and face the big hitters. Other times he'll be at a point in the lineup where you're trying to shut it down so it doesn't flip over next inning where the big boys come up.
And that's where that guy steps into the picture.
Right.
Brad Lidge. There goes Willingham again. The pitch low, ball 4. And the Nationals now with 2 runners on and 1 away here in the top of the 8th inning.
Doing the 3-2 changeup, and he didn't bite.
Anderson Hernandez is 1 for 3 tonight. And he's had good numbers against the Phillies in just a few years. Parts of the season with the Mets and part of last year with the Nationals and this year with Washington. Off the end of the bat, a looper to center. Victorino is there, and there are 2 away. The changeup was pretty good. It was down, and Hernandez looked like he was swinging fastball.
Exactly, and got him to jump at it and get the weak fly ball.
So Matson is 1 out away from getting out of this inning. And the number 8 batter, Justin Maxwell, will hit. As Will's mentioned before, you look at the lineup, Maxwell's at number 8. If Matson gets him here, then the 9th would start with 9, 1, and then 2.
Right. And that's what's happened with 2 base runners in this inning, that he gotten to the point where you turn the lineup over. He crossed him up then. Boy, you could see Ruiz reach at the last split second for that. You know, that was a fastball, and he was looking for a changeup.
You can almost hear it too with the way the ball hit the glove.
Oh yeah, it hit it funky. I don't know how he caught that thing. Because normally when you're looking for something slow and it comes in fast, you don't catch it.
Matson wanted that pitch. But instead, it's 2-0.
They only have a 4-man bench, and they've used 2 players up.
Well, they've got Harris and Nieves available. Harris is in the on-deck circle.
Willie Harris, left-handed hitter. Nieves, a right-handed hitter, and the other catcher.
See the numbers with runners in scoring position. The Phillies are 3 for 15 tonight. Nationals 2 for 8. 2-2 the count.
Yeah, that's why Washington's still in this game.
Matson now 1 strike away from getting out of this 8th inning with a tying run on second base. The luck of the Irish with that fan. Called strike 3. Oh boy, he threw a cutter and it froze Maxwell. And Ryan Matson gets out of a jam here in the 8th inning. He strands 2. We have played 7.5, and this strikeout, well, it's pretty big right now. The Phillies lead it by 1. Go to the bottom of the 8th. Sixth at 7:05. It's the start of a 4-game. Three-hit night. And he lines one to right field. It's a 4-hit night. It's his third 4-hit night of the year, and he leads the National League in that category.
Well, lately his stroke is really short and quick. And you watch these hits that he's getting tonight, how long he's waiting. You know, when Shane gets in trouble, like a lot of hitters, when they start to jump in pitches. Look how nice and quick he is. Bang! Just a little move, lifts his foot, pulls his hands back, pop. And you know, when he can do that, you know, he looks like a pretty good hitter.
9 hits now in 16 at-bats during this homestand. And he's aboard, and Bimel's tough to run on. And Chase takes a strike. It's 0-1. I would imagine that what's tough to run on with Bimel is that he turns that body, and you know, you don't know if he's turning and coming to the plate or if he's turning and coming over to first.
Yeah. It's not like he's real fast to the plate. If you can guess right on him, you can run on him. But he does that thing where he kind of hangs in the air like that. And pitchers that can do that can throw over to first while they're hanging. And they can wait a long time before they throw the pitch to home plate, because he doesn't really worry about velocity that much.
Couple moves over to first, a couple of very different moves over to first.
Now fans boo when that happens, and it's understandable, but they need to throw over there because the Nationals want to keep this to a one-run game if they can. Phillies want to do just the opposite. They want to get some more here, and then maybe he'll try to steal it back.
1-2 the count to Chase, who this year you saw his numbers for his career against Bimel. This year he's 0 for 3 against Joe Bimel with 2 strikeouts. He had Shane going back, and he had Chase offering, and third base umpire Doug Eddings says he didn't go around.
That was a nice play by Bard too on that breaking ball in the dirt. Victorino had a one-way lead that time. Here's a good play by Bard. Look at him shift here and block that breaking ball away. And Utley just held up.
There's the move where he does go back and turn and throw to first. The first time he's done that, or he's shown that to Victorino.
Yeah, he's got that little move. He starts to step towards the plate a little bit and then just flip it over there. He doesn't have a real good move, but like a lot of left-handers, he can hold runners by his move to the plate. He's very deliberate, and like I said, he hangs in the air a long time. Jamie Moyer can do that. He can hang in the air for a long time and then throw over to first. These guys that don't worry about, you know, pumping at 95, they don't need as much. You know, they don't have to push off as much.
There's Jamie looking on, watching this 8th inning unfold. Chase bounces it to second. Could be 2. Hernandez the second for 1. Guzman has got the double play. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Well, they did a good job by holding Victorino on. He can't run. And the other thing was he couldn't get a Guzman to break it up. See, he has no jump at all, and then Guzman just uses the bag, gets out of the way. Well, he doesn't use the bag. He didn't have to as a shortstop. He just made a quick pivot, got out of the way. But Victorino normally would be on him a lot quicker than that. But because Beimel held him so close, never got to him.
2 away for Howard. Ryan tonight has hit into the shift twice. He's 0 for 4. He was robbed of a base hit back in the 4th inning by Josh Willingham.
Utley was trying to hit the ball in the hole, trying to pull it and get Victorino over to third, and then he hit into the double play.
Ryan is 1 for 7 in his career against Beimel. The 1 is a home run.
And Beimel has 2 more hitters here. He has Howard, he has Ibanez, and then Worth is a batter after that. And Tavares is up for him.
Ryan hits it in the air deep down the left field line. It's slicing foul and out of play. A reminder that this game will encore tonight at 10:30 on the Comcast network, and then also 1:30 a.m. on Comcast Sportsnet. From the beginning, you watch Jay Happ make the start. Jay went 5 1/3, while Detweiler made the start for the Nationals. He went 4, allowed 10 hits. The Phillies have 15 hits tonight. Good hold by Ryan. It's 3-1.
15 hits, and they're just hanging on in this one.
Well, they've stranded 11. There's Ibanez, who has 2 of those hits.
Well, the problem is they haven't scored since the 4th inning.
Ryan hits it in the air to left field pretty deep. Willingham going back into the gap, reaches up. He can't get it. It's off the wall. And Howard's got a stand-up double. Ball was bobbled out there for a moment.
Willingham's taking a look up at the board to see what happened on that. Well, it just kept slicing. It came back towards him. But you know, he's a converted catcher playing the outfield for his bat, and you know, he does what he can do. And he couldn't get to that one, even though it was slicing back towards him.
Maxwell overran it. Ryan, though, had to settle for a double. Want to take a chance and go over to third on that one.
Yeah, 1st and 3rd out at third base to make the last out at third base. In those situations is a real no-no.
So Raul's numbers: 2 for 4, a couple RBIs, a run scored. And he takes one at the knees for a strike. Raul has only 3 career at bats against Beimel. All 3 have come this year.
And they're going to pitch him away and play him away. Huge gap in right center field for him. And you see the way they feel they're going to go away from him and play him out there.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Marlins and the Mets tied at 1. That game has gone to the 10th. Dan Uggla's sacrifice fly early. Omir Santos' home run in the middle. Looks like some pretty good pitching, too. Pico Calero worked out of a couple jams, including a bases loaded jam for the Marlins. 2-1 the count to Ibanez.
Beimel knows this is his last hitter, so he's being really careful with Ibanez. He has a base open, 2 outs, and he does not have to throw him a strike. Pitcher in this case, especially a veteran pitcher like Beimel, is trying to make the hitter get himself out.
Pretty good pitch to hit.
Yep.
And it's 2-2.
He threw him. I'm sure he didn't mean to throw that where he just hit. Right down the middle.
There's Julian Tavares, who's up and loosening in the pen. Well, he's not really loosening right now. He's just taking a drink and a shower.
He's different. He pitches that guy's thrown. Man, he's been around a while.
2-2. Slow roller, foul right past Davey Lopes. Ibanez is currently 6th in the All-Star voting. How about Joe Torre today when he was asked about Manny Ramirez, who's 4th among outfielders, whether he should be on the All-Star team? Joe said no. Well, this guy should be right here.
Oh, yeah. Just keep swinging.
Keep swinging and keep driving in runs. It's full, 3-2.
There's just no reason to think he's going to throw him a hittable strike unless he makes a mistake here.
He's got Jason Worth to follow, but if Worth comes up, it'll be Julian Tavares. Most likely it'll face him with Howard on second. 3-2 the count to Ibanez. Ball 4, and he takes his base. The Phillies now with 2 runners on here in the 8th inning.
That's a good job by both of them. I mean, it may sound crazy, but Beimel did what he's supposed to do there, not get hurt by Ibanez, and Ibanez recognizes what the guy's doing to him and doesn't swing wildly at a 3-2 slider 2 feet out of the strike zone.
Well, and speaking of sliders, Joe Beimel is going to give way to another guy who loves the slider, and that's Julian Tavares. He's going to be the new pitcher for the Nationals with 2 runners on and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. ...16 hits tonight, but those 2 runners that are on base right now for him are huge insurance runs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And after Joe Beimel threw an inning and a third, he'll give way now to veteran right-hander Julian Tavares in his 23rd game, 1-4 with a 5.68 ERA. 16 hits, 14 walks in 19 innings. The opposition doesn't have a real good batting average against him, including right-handers who are hitting just .205, but he's a lot of base runners. And he's got 2 runners on here. Howard on second base, Ibanez on first. And here's Jason Worth. Jason's got 2 hits tonight. He's 2 for 4. Base hit here will score a run.
There he goes, Tom, just as you said. He does throw a lot of sliders. He used to throw a real heavy sinker. His fastball's still a sinker, but it's not as heavy as it used to be, and he uses slider a lot now.
Jason's 1 for 4 against him for his career, 1 for 2 this year. And he's down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. So back-to-back sliders from Tavares.
No surprise.
Figure he'll throw another one here. The slider punched the opposite way on one hop to Johnson. It's pretty good concentration because Ibanez was right in his sights, and the inning is over. So Worth hits it hard. Phillies strand 2 more. It's Brad Lidge time here at Citizens Bank Park, with the Phillies leading it by 1. A lot of blue, which means the Phillies are going to be hitting the road. 3 in San Diego beginning Monday, all on Comcast Sportsnet. Then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday out in Los Angeles. 2 on Comcast Sportsnet, 2 on national television. An off day on Monday in New York. And then on my PHL 17 against the Mets on the 9th, the 10th, and the 11th. Comcast Sportsnet is where you can watch these games on the 10th and the 11th up at Citi Field. All those games on the West Coast beginning in San Diego will begin with Phillies pregame live at 9:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Here's Brad Lidge in his 23rd game. Brad's 0-2 with 9 saves. He's blown 4 so far this year. 8.85 ERA. He's allowed a lot of base runners. In fact, 42 in 20 1/3 innings of work.
Yeah, and this guy who's going to come up a pinch hitter, Willie Harris, he'll stand there until he throws him a strike too. Willie Harris is an experienced player, and he does work the count.
Well, he's on here to face Lidge, and Harris this year against Lidge is 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs.
He doubled in the corner game in Washington, tied a game up.
And he takes one way inside. It's 1-0. Jay Happ started. He went the first 5 1/3. Pitched pretty well for the Phillies. He did walk 3, hit 2, struck out 5. Slider in there for strike 1.
And you saw Willie Harris. He just kind of waved the bat. He was going to take at least 1 strike.
261 overall for Harris. 1 for 6 as a pinch hitter. And that ball got a piece of the bat. It's 1-2.
Yeah, that was a fastball running right after it.
This leadoff batter has been problematic for Brad.
Yeah, because then they'll run on him sometimes.
In the air to right field. Jason Worth is there. 1 away.
That was a pretty good breaking ball. Looked like he got in on him a little.
And he hesitated. Didn't really get a good swing on it. So Harris is retired. The all-important first batter is set down by Brad Lidge.
There's a breaking ball. He did not get a real good swing.
And as Harris goes back, Guzman steps up. He's 0 for 4 tonight. This guy's another tough customer.
This guy's a good player. He's going to be a free agent after this season. He should be a very attractive player if they don't sign him, because he can play. He could play third. He could play second, and he's obviously still a very good shortstop.
1-1 the count to him. He's 2 for 3 against Brad for his career.
He's been a little injury prone the last few years, and that's what set him back. Lidge has a good fastball tonight. 94-95.
Good slider too. It's 2-2. Moved his feet with that slider. It's full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Guzman. It'll be Guzman, then Nick Johnson. And then the lineup gets even tougher because Ryan Zimmerman is waiting on the second step of the dugout. 3-2 the count. Just got a piece of it.
Well, that's the point we're making in the 8th inning. With a little longer 8th inning, Ryan Madison got the job done. But he had to face, what, 5-6 hitters in that inning, and that turns it over to the point where you have to face these guys.
Ooh, he got him. Swing and a miss. I thought it was a foul ball. Ruiz picks it up, applies the tag, 2 away.
So Carlos Ruiz does his job there too, because that ball's a little short hopper.
And it must have been the shin guard that you heard it hit instead of the bat.
Here you go with a shot, hit the mitt. Yeah, it hit his catcher's mitt right there. He actually turned his glove the wrong way. And Carlos doesn't want to do that too often, because you can really get burned with what it'll do is hit the heel of the glove and bounce away.
Well, plus it hit the plate too.
Yeah.
2 outs now. Nick Johnson stands in. Johnson is 1 for 3 tonight, and he starts him off with a slider low. 1-0. Phillies have won 7 of 9 against Washington this year, trying to make it 8 of 10. These guys have some good numbers against Brad in a very small amount of at-bats. Johnson is 2 for 3. Oh, that slider, he can throw it any time, and he throws it with the count 2-0. And it's 2-1 now to Nick Johnson. Swing and a miss. It's 2-2. Another slider. Boy, he's got a good one tonight, huh? See if he can get one more good one against Nick Johnson.
Hard to get Nick Johnson to chase like this too.
Keep pounding that dugout, honey. 2-2 the count to Johnson. Crowd to their feet. The pitch. Just missed.
Oh, he didn't chase.
He almost did.
Thing about Nick Johnson, you don't want to walk him, but at least he's not a base stealer. I'm not saying he wouldn't go if he gets on there, but he's not one of those guys who would have taken off like Harris or Guzman might have.
1-2 the count to Johnson. Lidge is ready, the pitch. Fastball called, strike 3. Johnson is rung up, and Brad Lidge picks up his 10th save of the season, and he works a 1-2-3 top of the 9th inning. And the Phillies hang on to a 1-run victory in front of this sold-out crowd. Through all those sliders, and he comes back with a high fastball.